So first of all, thank you to all of you to join the panel, and yeah, I would like to smoothly start, and let's start in an order with the question: where do you see and can you see micro LED as I want to, or we want to merge technologies nowadays spoken about? Can you see micro LED in the rental and staging?
Well, funny thing about that, a few years back,
Sorry to interrupt. I forgot something important because not everyone know you. Maybe, maybe. You think everyone? So maybe you shortly spend some words on who you are, where you are in the market. Sorry.
right, I'm Wayne Romanowski. I'm Vice President of Video and LED Services for Four Wall Entertainment Global, based in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the rock and roll capital of the world. And I've been in the entertainment business since about 1981. I've been in television and production since about 1985, and I've been doing LED since 2001.
That's impressive. So therefore,
In other words, I'm old.
So therefore, I think you might be able to give us an answer to the question. So where you might see micro LED in the rental and staging, can you see micro LED there?
Well, funny thing about that, about 4 years ago, I said to someone, the day we go into, or past probably 6 years, the day we go into sub 3 millimeter is the day I retire. All the clients are asking for finer pixel pitch. Their budgets aren't necessarily justifying it. I think, yeah, micro LED or some derivative thereof will be in the rental and staging business. I think there's going to be very few manufacturers who can pull it off well. And I do think Absen is poised for that.
Thank you for that. So maybe we continue with you, Dan.
Well, Wayne is really, by the way, I'm Dan Kretz, president of Optic 8 Integration. And thank you. We install LED volumes for virtual production. We have, I think, 8 volumes going up in the next year. All of those will be Absen LED panels. So yes.
Thank you for that.
So we just ordered our first 3 stages about a month ago with the PR series, 1.9, 2.5s, and 5.2s. So we do that, and then we also do immersive projects, immersive museums. Immersive is kind of a buzzword right now. People want something immersive, but they don't really know what it means. So we'll come alongside and say, okay, how do you take this commercial real estate project, and make it immersive? As people walk around, how do you make it interactive with sound, video, lighting? So we do have a division that does that, but I really focus on the LED volume side. So that's who we are. I don't do the rental and staging like Wayne does. But in the volumes, the smaller and smaller pixel pitches have been hugely helpful. But now, in the big volumes, we're probably not needing to go too much lower than 2.5. Where the camera sits far enough back, if the camera resolves perfectly and you can't see the pixels, it works great. So that's why, you said color, color, color. To us, that's now the next most important thing is how do we keep improving on color so we don't have to replace that color in post? And I think Absen's really leading the charge in that. And then, of course, as we get into the smaller volumes for tabletop work, we couldn't do tabletop work in a volume before. Now that we have these, 1.2s and 1.5s, it's game changing. Now we can do all of that work too. So.
Thank you. So I do have already one or the other question in addition in mind, but let us continue. So you just jumped in. So the question is, can you see micro LED in the rental and staging market in the future, in the close future maybe? And first, please introduce yourself and your position.
下午好，我叫大哥。对不起，我有点迟到。So my name's Doug Walk, and thank you for having me. Appreciate it. To answer the question about micro LED and rail and staging, I think it has a future, but I think there's some concerns first that sort of need to be addressed. And I didn't get the benefit of hearing what Wayne suggested, but from my perspective, I think that there's a repairability issue that is paramount. Right now, the COB that I've been working with also has been, there's been some difficulties with the consistency of the blackness. Also, there's been some challenges with the software and the calibration of the products. So I think that as an industry, the technology is still maturing, and I think that there's still some hurdles to overcome. And for anyone really right now to use a COB product, I think there's some minor barriers to entry. To be successful at it, I think you have to understand and buy some calibration equipment to be able to make sure that you have very consistent products. So I think that there's definitely a future, but I don't think it's imminent.
Thank you. You raised some other questions, and we will come to that. Stuart.
Hi everyone. I've already introduced myself, so I'll keep it short. I'm Stuart Holmes. I'm from a company called PSCo, which is part of the Midwich Group. We are a trade-only distributor, but PSCo is also a trade-only rental business. We've been partners of Absen now. We're very close to 10 years. We've been buying Absen products, and very proud to represent you across Europe. So micro-LED, yeah, my personal opinion is I agree with everything the guys are saying. I do believe it will be the platform, the go-to platform in sub 1.5 millimeter in rental in years to come, but it does have operational challenges that we need to get over. And somebody once said to me as well that the second indoor LED rental goes below 3 millimeter, basically, yeah, words to the same effect as what you said there, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicholas?
Niklas Jung, I'm the CTO of Creative Technology in Northern Europe. Been in the industry for, I think it's 30 years this year. Started out with purchased the first LED in 1998, so we've seen some development since then. So I think this is really exciting, and to see how we're really moving forward, and Absen in particular, I think they're taking the right steps. But I think I'm most curious to see how this COB can help us in protecting the package, because we see, I mean, that's our biggest struggle right now with the SMD-based products. We see a lot of damages on our different, when we send equipment out. We probably see 15 to 20% damaged panels coming back on any particular job. And that's, if we can solve that, that's the key. I think we will work out the other different the difficulties we will see with calibration, because that's just maturing the product. So, but the protection of the packages is a key thing for me.
I shortly need to clarify more for myself. So 15 to 20% is your experience already in COB, or you mean in general
in SMD,
in rental and staging?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nicolas?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Nicolas Savini, CTO of Novelty Group. So I think something than the other. For me, micro-LED are asking some things about technicians, especially because we need very specialist technicians. Actually, we don't have. So it's important also for maintenance, as you said, because we crash a lot of LED panels and something like CT, I think so. That's the same of all rental partners. And questions about transportation also, how transport this panel. And at least my one question on very small pitch is about servers, because we need also higher definition, and it's important to manage. It's very hard to manage very, very high definition. So that's a lot of questions for me, this kind of product.
Yeah, I think so. Out of the customer visits I made, and yeah, also some of you already reported that once I've been in your facilities and the group over here. So is that sometimes the end customer forget about how to handle such high resolution. But I think that's a separate topic. But as I'm very keen for technologies, so that's the reason why I'm in this company and what is my role in the company. I got in between the question for myself if everyone know about the different LED technologies, because I been clever with my question, so I ask for micro LED, and that's not necessarily COB. So what is your opinion about MIP? Or let me start, so are you really aware of MIP?
After your presentation in Malta, I think we're getting closer.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Yeah, well, but that shows me a little bit. So the and that is we also had today the discussion. So micro LED is a nice term to be used, and I think a necessary term to be used to do good marketing. But my personal opinion is then, okay, so not everyone is really aware what is micro LED. So it's finally only the small size of the color. So that's described micro. So with some other specs that need to be fulfilled. But MIP, I shortly described for all of you, as I see there might be a little bit of lack of information. So MIP is kind of like SMD, but just a much smaller size, and the red, green, blue ingredients is then micro. And MIP, the translation is micro LED in package. And I already heard, and so maybe I got over here, maybe for you then. So the calibration topic, color topic for virtual production. So I know that's very important. But MIP, just giving the forecast, might solve. So again, I might clarify a bit more. So it's like SMD, just much smaller, and we can realize smaller pixel pitch. So and we can do binning like we know from SMD. So would that help you? So would if this would be really established, would that be product you can see in the market?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Depending on price, of course, there's other factors too.
Yeah.
Refresh rate, scan rate, driver IC configuration, and how that's being driven. Those are all really important. When we take people through and look at screens, people are like, "Man, all of these are beautiful," and I'm like, "Well, they're beautiful to an eye, but not to a camera." So I'm a little bit different than a normal rental house where we really just care how do these look in camera. So if we can get that smaller pixel pitch in a micro LED and still fulfill, refresh, scan, driver, then yes, people will love it.
Okay, there we come definitely already to another question. So is about technologies. We might cover that later on. Let me continue with the micro LED topic and the color performance. So also maybe again to you the question. So same then to Dan. So once that is solved in comparison to COB, then you would be satisfied?
My one wish in the industry is that you guys stop trying to push finer pixel pitches, because all that's happening is the clients are saying, "Oh, we saw 1.5 millimeter at LDI. I gotta have 1.5," and then I tell them the price, and they can't afford it. No, I mean there's so many other challenges. We talked about transportation, about repair, finding the technician who can build this product, or finding the manufacturing tolerances to build such a fine pitch product. Think about the manufacturing tolerances on the frame and the hardware, and then having to level that. I think, you're going to double loading times, you're going to double strike times. There's a lot of other questions to be answered. And also, your Z-axis is going to become even more critical with micro LED.
So thank you for kind of summarizing the challenges we are always faced to, also from manufacturer side. So because customers always ask for smaller pixel pitch, but there are technical limitations. So we try to push the border more and more into the direction to fulfill. I think you can already see with the PR 1.5 getting into making a new step into small pitch and even in virtual production. And there I come a little bit to the topic. Yes, that's high quality, high definition, and color reproduction. So So thank you for summarize the challenges, because the mechanics and the layers, that is really something which limit. So maybe I jump to another question. So maybe something for you, Stuart, and for the audience. So I also have been keen to have you on the panel to see to show a little bit the point of view of distribution, because that might be something different to the point of view of others within this panel. So the next question would be, is there already an emerging new market you can see? So we see virtual production during the pandemic time moved the market in a totally different direction, moved the products actually in a different direction. Can you see in the future something else coming up?
I was just listening to Wayne then, and he was talking about the manufacturers developing technology basically faster than it's needed to for certain applications. Being trade rental or being distribution, we really love that, because from a trade rental perspective, we love to have on our rental fleet products that basically our partners don't want to buy themselves. They don't want to buy them for two reasons, really. One is the technology is still moving, the market's not there yet for it, but they need access to it. So we like to give them access to it by putting it onto our rental fleet. Or the other reason, they haven't got enough. It's really busy times, and they'll come to a trade rental partner. And I see micro-LED basically moving into that space quite quickly. So we want to move in 2024. We'd love to have a 1.5, 1.2 millimeter onto our rental fleet. That will then drive sales, the distribution side of things, because making people more aware of what's out there, what it can do, what it can achieve. And as the guys have pointed out, basically the end user doesn't really understand the technical challenges that go with that. And myself as a marketing person, manufacturers and marketing people, they're not going to tell them what the challenges are either. Basically, it's the people on the panel that are really going to fix those challenges for them. But I think it's really important that we continue to innovate as an industry and to make sure people understand what is possible, even if they don't right now have the budgets for it. So yeah, there's new markets that will be emerged, but they will be driven by what I believe the live events capability can offer in terms of what they can show as well. That's why we go to an exhibition, to see the latest technologies, the new trends, how they're going to be used. Virtual production has been a buzzword, or extended reality has been buzzwords that's been used quite a lot. However, there's no real standard there yet, and no one really understands what they do. We don't, certainly as a distributor. Obviously, we're very good at stocking things and box shifting. However, we need to be in that space and understand it, and work with partners to understand that whole ecosystem and how we can add value to the end users.
Thank you for that. A little bit different direction of that question is so not that much about emerging. So it's maybe where we are driving in 2024. So what are the applications, and what are then products behind which drive 2024? And Stuart just made an example of live events and especially after pandemic times, the push of coming together, all of us joining concerts and so on. So Nicholas, you would get in my mind, let's say, representative for the CT group. So doing that kind of business. So. Is the live event, are the products accordingly, are the hot selling products for 2024 for touring business?
I mean, lightweight is a big driver, because we're seeing bigger and bigger screens for every event that just keep getting bigger, and also for the corporate events. which is indoor mostly. So, but also we do a lot more in LED than we used to do. That was used to be done with projection. So we're shifting a big shift from projection into LED, where all the installations get big and really heavy. So I mean, what you have here, I think it's a key way of getting that volume into the venues, because they simply can't take what we have weight-wise today. I think that's a key driver. So I think you're on the right track there.
Yeah, thank you for that, because yeah, I during my presentation I made kind of the summary. So every new product which I've spoken about is mainly about lightweight, and also Hansen and Stone mentioned. So that is what we really paid attention for or had focus on. Yeah. So Nicolas, so you're also in that kind of business. So
Yes.
is it next year focus on, let me ask, outdoor products?
Yes, for sure, because in 2024, I'm based in Paris, and as you know, there are Olympic Games, so we are looking for lightweight products, a lot of on large scale products, and it's very hard to find an all solution in this direction, but we are focused on outdoor product for sure, yeah.
But at the same time, so what we as a manufacturer for sure see, and I think yeah, majority of you know that lightweight is, let's say, can be easily achieved, but we as a manufacturer need to find the right balance between the lightweight and the stability and the performance for, let's say, touring, if we concentrate on touring. So so what do you see, Nicolas, is kind of the border? So what is the right balance? Or maybe even more specific, what really drive to make the product more and more lightweight?
Not more and more, but might be adjust because it's very hard to find the good solution for sure. For as you said, the balance between weight and power, light power. But we expect very small lightweight, because it's very hard to, for example, in Olympic Games, all the venue cannot accept very strong and too weight products. So this is the reason why we are focused on this point. Sure.
Okay, now we already reached a little bit again the point of products. So different to the market perspective and where we are driving. So maybe I can ask you, Doug, about potential new technologies coming in 2024. What are, because I know you have a quite good overview, not only what we as Epson are doing, so what let's say others in the market do. So is there a technology you see which will get mature in 2024, for example?
It's an interesting question. I see a lot of things. I'm hoping that that the control systems continue to mature as the LED technology changes. Some of the challenges that I am seeing are around the micro LED for sure, and a lot of it is really related to the control systems, and that's got to do with the calibration and also the speed at which I think that these things are being developed. Right? It seems like the control systems maybe are a little bit lagging behind the micro LED in terms of the hardware, the LED part of it, the panel part, and I think that's going to start to mature. I'm hoping it does anyway. The trends that I'm sort of seeing are big and small. I think these guys see it as well. Big in terms of bigger walls, small in terms of smaller pixel pitch, right? And they're kind of happening at the same time, right? We're seeing bigger and bigger walls, and we're seeing smaller pixel pitch at the same time on the bigger walls, right? And I think that's causing a lot of new challenges, particularly outdoor. I know some of the things that we've been seeing on the outdoor side that are challenging are wind loads. I think that as things have changed over time, these screens have gotten so large, so massive that the wind loading is just huge. And it seems like now wind loading has become kind of a hot topic, right? And everyone's sort of talking about not just how heavy that your panels are, but what kind of wind loads can you carry? And I think that's because there's more and more events that are going with the larger screens, and they're for multiple days. So I think that's, as we're going bigger in terms of the screen size and smaller in terms of the pixel pitch, those are presenting those kind of new challenges where, to your point, there's mechanical challenges with keeping the gaps, right, the way that they should be, especially when you have a wind load, right? And it's easier to see when you have a smaller pixel pitch and a larger screen. So those are some of the challenges I think that we're going to need to solve in 2024.
Well, let me grab that opportunity to ask you, because now you mentioned the point. Would you expect from us as a LED manufacturer to have the structure accordingly? Because that is also a very common question in a lot of customer discussions. So would you expect us, or are you already doing your own structure and calculations, and you do existing trusting system attachment already anyhow?
So short answer is yes. From my perspective, I think that an integrated system is always better, right? It's purpose built. So when I say an integrated system, what I mean is, the design from the cabinet to the ground stack to the hanging bar to the wind loading system, the wind bracing system, I think all should be integrated. I think it should all come as a standard package. I think from a design standpoint, when we talk about designing a product, we really should be talking about designing a system, not just a product. Designing a product, I don't think takes it far enough. I think to have a complete design, you need to encompass all the different aspects of how the product is going to be used in an application.
Thank you for that. So that's very interesting. I try to now, as we already again in the topic of technology. So let me just make an example and raise the question. Because you both are very familiar with the virtual production market, and in my presentation I've spoken about the low scan rate. So if I would tell you we can do static drive, so there is no scan anymore, but it's double the price. So are you keen to get the product? Because that solves a lot of your problems.
You're the one that's going to be pushing the technology directly on the clients. So it's probably a better question for you. For the way virtual production works for 4Wall, we're not going out. Well, we'd like to go out and sell studios, but that's not our primary focus. A lot of our virtual production work is what we call hit and run. Someone calls us and says, "Hey, we're shooting a film. We need it in this studio this day." We go in like a live event, build a screen. They shoot. We take it down. We're out. If the client's willing to pay for that, sure. But just saying you have static drive, yeah, I would love it.
That's
I would love
for sure.
it.
I
I
think
would absolutely love
everyone
it.
on this panel would like to have the static drive, yeah. But then it's
I
again the balance.
guarantee you there's a person at a university in Southern California who's going to point a camera at it and say it's no good for this reason. No, every advancement we can make in the technology to make it better and make it perfect is great. But there are so many other variables. Having static isn't the final solution. You might not need static. There's so many other variables involved.
Stone and I have talked quite a bit of scan rate. So, for me, I would love it. And some customers aren't going to afford it. That's true if it's double the cost. But I think we have a lot that would pay for it. because it would alleviate a bunch of problems that people are having, especially when you're dimming your wall and you're getting into dark grayscales and we're seeing all these little artifacts. If you could get rid of those, people would love it. So my perspective is maybe different than some others, but I think people would pay for it. And the one other thing on just the smaller pixel pitch, because you were talking about where 2024 is going, and I think the other thing is because we're doing these stages, and I think there's only going to be so many like giant stages that are built. Because there's only so many $100 million, $200 million movies that are happening. But what we're really seeing is a whole bunch of small stages. Stages for corporate 500, they just want a small stage to shoot their internal content on. Small ad agencies. So I really think that like over the next 5 years, if you don't have access to this, whatever we want to call it, virtual production, LED stage, XR stage, the terminology is all over the map, right? But if you don't have access to this, or you don't have one, I think you're going to start becoming irrelevant as more and more people get used to the technology and how it works. It's not for everything, and we tell people that. It's just a tool. But I think it's a tool that is an amazing tool for storytellers that allows them to do some stuff they couldn't do before. So all that saying is I think 2024 is going to be the year of small stages. Little small corner, maybe with a floor with set extensions, and then we get back into that small pixel pitch. I think people will love that because now we can have a 4K resolution much smaller. When you get into the big screens, and all of a sudden you're running 100 servers to try to keep up with the content, that gets tough. So it's all application, but I think those small stages are going to be really big.
Thank you. So I would have even much more questions in mind, but I just had a look on the watch that we are kind of running out of time. So first of all, thank you for joining, but let me quickly ask each of you one question. So if you shortly think about, and think about your priorities, so what you would wish from Epson Live for 2024. So let's keep it as an open question. So can be product, can be service, can be whatever. So short moment. Oh, they're already in mind. Or let me start the other way around. So Nicolas, do you have something in mind?
Improve the maintenance service, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, just lighter, cheaper products is perfect.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I'm not going to go down the product route. These guys know a lot more than I do when it comes to the technology itself. I trust Epson and always have trust Epson to keep innovating. For me, as a distributor, it'd be having a clean channel.
Yep. Thank you for the feedback.
I would love to see a long-term product roadmap. I would like to know where the future is, not 6 months from now, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. Even if it doesn't come true, I'd like to know what the general direction is, right? And I would love to see what's in the hopper, right? Here are the products that we're working on. I'd love to know in advance what those were. I think that would be tremendously helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for us, it's just about the products. We're excited about the RGBW for ceilings. Wayne and I were talking just over coffee that, I think the future will be eventually 4 primaries, 5 primaries, 6 primaries, if budget allows. So I think just pushing color, and making that better is going to be great.
That had been also one of my questions, which I marked note for myself in advance. So whether you would see, even more than RGBW, maybe another colors to adding. Or you made the point.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not RGBW in the wall because I don't think that would improve, the backgrounds. But I don't know what it is. I'm not a color expert, but whether it's RGB C or A or M or E or whatever that is, but I'm excited about that.
I mean, I got to go with what Nicholas said. It's lighter product and ROI. So cheaper price.
thank you for the feedback, and definitely. So why I raised the question? So I don't want to keep the question just on this panel. So please feel inspired, all of you. So for today evening, to take this question and to discuss with us. So and that would help us and all together to go the right direction. So yeah, quick wrap up. I think I'm happy that obviously we go the right direction with the products we just presented here, and we are still heading to smaller pixel pitch, but we need obviously to overcome the challenges which come with whether mechanically, service, repair, and all of that, which is and that is what we usually call it. So service is really elementary, everything in regard to rental and staging. So fixed installation, service can be done, let's say easily, but for rental and staging, it's a different level. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody here in the panel. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Wayne, Dan, Doug, Stuart, Nicholas, and Nicolas. Okay. We finish here. Today is already, I think, quite good. As I said, later we have the dinner, and please feel free during the dinner to engage with any of the panelists here to ask questions and maybe go deeper in some of the discussions. I have marketing team basically pushing me about the time and time. That's why we cannot have now open questions, but later during the dinner. Before, just to be sure everybody knows, at 7:30, we need to be in the hall King Yuan Chun, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing well, hall in the second floor of the hotel. Please, everybody on time, 7:30, okay, to be there. If somebody want to change in more relaxed clothes, it means however you want to go, it will be fine. And I would like before before we finish, I would like to say, for me, it's the first time I'm being kind of host on this kind of event. And I get, honestly, a lot of learnings. I'm used to be the one doing presentations, commercial presentations, and maybe we are not aware of many details. Being the host of this event made me really figure out how many details really at the back of all these kind of events. And I would like to finish to send some very big thanks to Violeta, Yvonne, all the marketing team, for the amazing job that they have done, and also all the technical team here. They have been working really hard in all single days to be sure everything is ready for you. Then a big applause, please, for all them.